Let all who read beware of the Greydwarfs, the skulkers in the darkness, the soulless ones. They are born from rot and rainfall. They spring like mushrooms from the smoking soil. There is nothing on their tongues or behind their eyes. Those who fear nothing should still fear them. When the soul of a murderer or a great sinner rots under the ground, it makes a hollow cyst which draws rock, wood and moss to it. It gathers up the peat into flesh, braids reeds into bone and takes rags for skin. It should not walk, but when the night comes, it walks. Should you who read this see one with a sword to your hand, lance it and let it out, or put it to the torch for it fears the flame. These are the words foretold on one of the runestones in Valheim. It depicts the Greydwarfs and tells us of how they were born. When a sinner, murderer, thief and many other bad souls die, their souls don't get carried by the Valkyries back to Valhalla. Rather, they get left to fester and rot. How's it going everyone, I'm Zwabjack and welcome back to another Valheim lore video. In today's video I'll be giving my theories on the mysterious Greydwarfs who roam the lands of Valheim, spreading darkness and corruption. Who are the Greydwarfs and where do they come from, you might ask? Just a quick disclaimer, there's very little lore on Greydwarfs, so don't be surprised if this video becomes obsolete when the game adds more in-depth lore. Continuing on with the video. When first landing in the realm of Valheim, you may come across Greylings. While the Greylings are small, they can be quick and sneaky. Greylings will one day grow into full-size Greydwarfs. Greydwarfs usually roam in packs and dwell in the Black Forest, but they can be seen lurking in other biomes from time to time, scouting out more territory to spread their corruption. We also see a shaman variation of the Greydwarfs who use magic to heal their nearby allies, and poison their foes. Wielding healing magic and poison magic, I thought that was an unusual combination, which led me to believe, could these mysterious shaman be using more than just magic, but be practitioners of black magic, using their own life's essence to heal the other Greydwarfs? They could also be a part of the reason we see so many. Maybe in the future we will see shaman raising the dead, or maybe we will see an entirely new necromancer Greydwarf in the future. We also have brutes, who we can see guarding the Greydwarf's nest. They are much larger than all their other counterparts. Sometimes you will see them on the front lines of battle, providing as tanks for the lesser Greydwarfs. I believe the way such a foul creature would be created is if a very horrible and tortured soul was left to the earth for a long enough time that they would eventually emerge a force to be reckoned with. With all the sin, guilt, rage and suffering, where would it have to escape? Nowhere, so it still manifests itself inside the Greydwarf's flesh. I wanted to also talk about if the Greydwarfs have any correlation with the Dwarves, and this will be my most out there theory yet, but it makes the most sense to me. But what if the Greydwarfs are born from dead Dwarves? It would make a lot of sense considering they resemble Dwarves. The Dwarves were birthed from the flesh and blood of the giant Ymir, who Odin and his two brothers slayed in battle, which laid the foundation for all life and creation. From his flesh and blood came the earth and ocean. From his bones the mountains were formed. His hair sprouted like trees. His brains scattered throughout the skies as the clouds. His skull became the heavens, and his eyebrows formed the middle realm, Midgard. The Dwarves were majorly associated with metalsmithing, but it said they also had capabilities with healing magic, which could explain our shaman. In the other case, they were associated with death, as it's been foretold the doorways they guard in their mountains are the gateways between realms. The Prose Edda describes the Dwarves as maggots that festered in the flesh of Ymir before the gods blessed them with reason. They were also referred to as the Black Elves in some cases. The Dwarves are quite hard to associate with one thing because their roles throughout history have been quite varied. They were creators of many powerful artifacts, which if fell into the wrong hands would do great misdeed. Murderers, tricksters, and even sexual predators that lusted for certain goddesses. With all that being said, I'm fairly certain Greydwarfs are dead dwarves, but we do see one living dwarf in Valheim, and that is Haldor the Trader. I'm certain he is a dwarf because he says he is. As I said before, they were sometimes referred to as Black Elves, and Haldor's skin tone is that of a dark blue, which may have been caused from prolonged years under the earth away from the sun. It is said that some dwarves turn to stone in daylight, and Haldor has a protective magical barrier around his trade post at all times. How did Haldor end up here with his locks Helstein? What's your theory on the mysterious Haldor? My final conclusion is that Odin may have had a change of heart and cast the dwarves in the realm of Valheim because he saw them as unworthy. Desperate times may call for desperate actions. Maybe he saw them as maggots after all. Or it could be that Aesir, the gods we all know, are at war with the dwarves. And this is why we, the players, and the souls of the slain and the Greydwarfs have ended up in Valheim. Maybe all the souls from the war come straight here because there is nowhere else for them to go. Could we be witness to the beginning of Ragnarok, or is Ragnarok already happening? But that, my friends, is a story for another day. I hope you learned something new, or maybe you just enjoyed watching this video. If you did, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and check out my channel for more Valheim content. Leave a comment down below on your theories, because I want to hear them, and maybe one day I can chuck them in a video. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later.